Hello and welcome to another issue of the Dot Report. In this month's edition, we'll be reviewing a range of stories, starting with the hack that revealed substantial cybersecurity gaps in the newly launched Doge site, the ransomware attack that caused major operational disruptions to the media giant Lee Enterprises, a series of flaws discovered in Xerox printers, and the $11.2 million settlement agreement between the Health Net Federal Services and the US government. Let's get into the weeds. It all started when two independent and very curious web developers discovered something interesting about the Doge site, its wide-open database. Looking into the website for Elon Musk's Doge initiative, the researchers found they could edit its content with zero restriction, meaning anybody else could too. As proof, they left messages on the site where one wrote, "This is a joke of a .gov site," and another stating, "These experts left their database open." The messages have since been removed, but did remain on the live site for at least 12 hours. The website in question, doge.gov, launched back in January, and at first it was little more than a blank slate. Then this month, it suddenly began displaying numbers that supposedly reflect the size of the US government in alignment with Musk's pledge for maximal transparency. However, on top of the open access database, the civilian researchers also discovered classified documents published to the site. And the story doesn't stop there. An investigation by Wired found that the site prioritizes X, Musk's social media platform, in a way that's sort of baffling. The homepage prominently features a live feed of Doge's post from X, and the site's code is designed to push traffic to x.com rather than its own domain. Even its canonical URL, which is typically used for duplicate content by online retailers, directs back to X. While the site is likely undergoing a security overhaul, the bigger question remains. How did such a high-profile project launch with such fundamental security flaws, and in the race to build something new, was security left as an afterthought? Regardless, this story emphasizes that no matter who you are, cybersecurity isn't optional. What began as a nondescript cyber incident has now been reported as a full-fledged ransomware attack against Lee Enterprises, one of the largest local news publishers in the country. Lee Enterprises, which owns 350 publications across 25 states, confirmed the breach in a recent filing with the SEC. According to the brief, attackers gained access to Lee's network, encrypted critical applications, and exfiltrated certain files, a true textbook ransomware operation. The impact was widespread, with at least 75 newspapers dealing with the ripple effects as print distribution, subscriber counts, billing, and vendor payments were all thrown into chaos. While Lee says its core publications are back on track, some of their weekly and specialty papers, which make up about 5% of its total revenue, are still offline, with a full recovery expected to take several weeks. In the wake of the ransomware attack, Lee is running a forensic investigation to discover any potentially sensitive information that may have been leaked, but it's unclear yet if the company chose to pay the ransom or not. However, Lee Enterprises does carry comprehensive cyber insurance, which should help with the cost of mitigation. All that said, the full financial impact is still very murky as Lee Enterprises works on bringing their full portfolio back online. Office equipment like printers may seem like a mundane piece of everyday reality to the general employee, but what a threat actor sees is a potential window into your entire network. That's because researchers have uncovered critical vulnerabilities in Xerox VersaLink multifunction printers that could let attackers steal authentication credentials and potentially infiltrate entire corporate networks. The flaws discovered by security researcher Doral Hyland at Rapid7 allow attackers to alter printer settings, reroute login credentials to rogue servers, and even compromise the Windows Active Directory system. In the wrong hands, this could enable lateral movement through an organization, turning a single printer into a gateway for deeper network breaches. The vulnerabilities affect firmware versions 57.69.91 and earlier, and the two major flaws identified are known as CVE 2024-12510, which allows the redirection of authentication credentials, and CVE 2024-12511, which modifies printer address book settings to capture login credentials. Exploiting these weaknesses requires access to the printer's configuration settings, either through the web interface or direct physical access, but if remote access isn't locked down, the risk increases significantly. Xerox has already released a fix in Service Pack 57.75.53 for the affected VersaLink models, but for organizations unable to patch immediately, security experts recommend taking immediate steps like strengthening admin passwords, avoiding the use of high-privilege Windows authentication accounts, and disabling remote console access for unauthenticated users. This discovery highlights the need to apply regular security updates to often overlooked office equipment like printers and other devices belonging to the Internet of Things. It's a case that raises serious questions about cybersecurity requirements in government contracting. HealthNet Federal Services, a Department of Defense contractor, and its parent company, the Centene Corporation, have agreed to pay $11.2 million to settle allegations that they misled the government about their cybersecurity compliance, a growing trend as the Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification Program is now official. Between 2015 and 2018, HNFS was responsible for administering TRICARE, the military health insurance program. But according to the US government, the company failed to implement required cybersecurity controls and lied about it. The allegations paint a troubling picture, with reports claiming that HNFS neglected vulnerability scans, ignored security flaws, and failed to address audit findings that flagged weaknesses in firewalls, patch management, password policies, and outdated hardware. Despite this, the company allegedly submitted 3 years' worth of false compliance reports to the government. HNFS and Centene deny any wrongdoing, but have agreed to pay the settlement, which includes $5.6 million in restitution. The government has not made any formal determination of liability, and the settlement does not include an admission of fault. But beyond the money, this case highlights a growing trend: federal agencies cracking down on cybersecurity compliance among defense contractors. As threats to sensitive government systems increase, so does the pressure to ensure contractors aren't just checking boxes, but are actually securing the data with which they're trusted. That's all from us for this month, so thanks for watching. I'm Andrew Mancini with .security, and this has been the Dot Report. We'll see you next month, and in the meantime, browse safe.